Hi everybody, I'm DJ Wagglemuffin. I'm going to be showing you today Manga Studio 5.0. This is actually something that a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. This update to this wonderful, beautiful program. And I've already got it set up here. I'm going to open up another document for you in just a second so I can show you how to do that. But for the purposes of this review, this is just my initial reaction to the program, and I'm going to walk you through some of the new features and some of the things that I really am just disappointed with the soft launch. I'm pretty sure that they didn't want to release too much in the way of the program, like, you know, they kind of want to tempt us into buying it further, and I certainly will if, you know, certain conditions are met. But overall, like, I am sort of pleased with it, but not enough to want to make the complete switch from Manga Studio 4. So let me show you some of the things that I really liked about it first. And first and foremost, let's pull up a pen tool and go G pen. And right here, you're going to notice that there's a stabilizer. Woo! If any of you have ever used Psy, the stabilizer is your best friend when you go to ink. So you just, ta-da, that's how it works. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. If you miss the way the lines looked in Manga Studio 4, you can just hit this wonderful anti-aliasing, or, you know, none in this case, and there it is. You know, it's phenomenal. I love it. The stabilizer is going to make inking a lot better, a lot faster, a lot more cleaner. Those of us who have shaky hands, even when we do digital stuff, the correction tool for the in Manga Studio 4 and before then was just not cutting it for some of us. So this is really going to make up for that. So that's good. One of the positives about Manga Studio 5.0 is that there is more illustration integration. There are better brushes to choose from, and then they work a lot better. Here's like a you know, a water tool, and it looks like what they did was they took some of the illustration studio, some of those features, and they plugged it into Manga Studio, and they created for us a brand new program. So that's going to make illustrations a lot easier and a lot better to deal with in this program. And it's got the plus in that when you were doing covers for your comic books, I'm pretty sure some of you weren't doing them in Manga Studio. I know I wasn't. I was doing my covers and any, you know, big illustrations. I was doing all of that in Paint Tool Psy, and if I needed any text or effects added to it, I would pop it into Photoshop and do it in there. It doesn't look like I have to do that anymore. I can do it all from Manga Studio 5, which is a huge plus. So I don't have to keep closing this program and opening up 2 more in order to, you know, make the changes that I need to illustrations. I don't have to do that anymore, and that's a really good thing. That's definitely make the program worth it. As you can see, there's a lot of brushes to choose from. Okay, there's watercolor, there's oil painting, India ink. I'm still sort of getting to know this program a little bit, so I can't, yeah, see, there's still some stabilization issues, not, you know, with the program itself. So you see how slow that's going. So that could be my computer, but it could also be the program itself. They've got some stuff they got to work out, but other than that, like, I'm still happy with it. There's different pencils, and I don't know if it still has the cycling. Yeah, it does. So you can still cycle by hitting the same key. So for this situation, you know, I want to use the pen tool, the pencil tool. You just hit you know, pen for pencil, or pen for pencil. And if you want to use some of the other things like pastel, or if I go back up here and I want to use a marker instead, you're going to have to actually click it instead of P, and P, where the P was also for pen, was for pencil, and for marker in Manga Studio 5, or rather Manga Studio 4. Some of the things that people were really gushing about were the layer modes, and as you can see, I'm pretty sure this is going to be more useful for those of you who color, but we now have all of these options to choose from when we do our coloring, or even maybe even some tone stuff. So that's really good. And I already have a tone plugged in here on this side. You're going to see this is now your materials palette is all right here. And they gave us some new stuff, like here's some camouflage, and I'm pretty sure you can desaturate this stuff later on. And you can add it to your characters to make it look, you know, some clothing patterns, or whether or not you want it in the panels or something like that, so you'll see. And they're also categorized for you. Here's some backgrounds. And looks like they given us a lot of high school stuff, so if any of you who've done like Japanese high school stories or anything set in Japan, you know, they give you some options there. I don't do that. I have a Western story, so I don't think it makes sense. Here are your monochromatic brushes and, or rather your tones and everything. Okay, and if you want to lay one down, as you can see, I've already got one up. So let me show you. You just drag it over, and you paste it down. Now, what this does is this creates for you a mask as opposed to being a different kind of layer that it was before. It was a tone layer back in Manga Studio 4, but it's not the case anymore. So say if I want to edit this, let's go ahead and collapse this. Oh, and you can collapse all these too. Give yourself some more room to work. Because I don't know about you, but I really hate having a lot of UI stuff all over my place. It really bothered me. But so I want to collapse this. Okay, now say if I want to edit this, let's go in and I'm going to select the whole thing. I'm going to delete it. Now that does not delete the tone itself. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to my handy dandy marker tool. I'm going to pick one. And remember, in Manga Studio, if you want to lay down a tone and it's blank like this, you choose the black or white option and there's your tone. And remember to erase it, you hit the transparent button, and there it is. The cool thing about this is now with all these cool pens or brushes, I can give that some kind of effect now, you know. Or I can come in here and, you know, as long as I have that black selected, you know, I can come in here and do some cool effects with that. And if I wanted to erase it, I could just do the same thing. So this definitely can give us some smarter, for those of us who didn't know how to make an etching tool, like that can give us a lot of options how to do it. And speaking of which, there are some other things to play with. You see all these nifty pattern tools up here. Yep, that's what that is. Nature, artifacts, hatching. Okay, and which is important for people like me who do black and white comic books. You know, we do a lot of hatching, we do a lot of toning. So that was something that was very, very, very important for us, and it looks like it looks a lot better. So this is just some of what we're using, and the good old handy dandy tone erasing tool, which I hate this tool, by the way. It doesn't give the effect that I want, but I think it looks a little too digital, but I'm pretty sure you can create it. I'm going to navigate this program just a little bit more, and I will show you some new things. I wanted to go over some negatives, some of the things that stood out to me right away, and one of them was the fact that you cannot open your .cst from Manga Studio 4. There's no story files. Like if I go up to File, New, there's no option for stories. You know, I can still do my pages, like I can do all my bleeds and everything like that. That's fine. That's not exactly what I wanted Manga Studio for. One of the reasons why I liked Manga Studio so much was because of those story options. I could set how many pages I wanted. I can set how many, you know, how big they were. The rulers were available. There was a symmetry ruler, there was the perspective rulers, there was all these other goodies to choose from, you know, to sort of help me along with my creation. So I didn't have to keep on grabbing images from the, you know, the internet and plugging them in. I could draw everything that I wanted to, and those rulers really helped. So that's not available with this launch. I don't plan on working on my comic book in this version, not the one that I'm already committed to. I might do a new project in here, and I'll make some videos to show you how that works as soon as I figure it all out. I'm going to navigate it, like I said, I'm going to navigate it some more, and I'm going to put it through. I did some panels in it yesterday, and there are some things like right away that kind of made the program a bit of a turnoff for me, but it doesn't mean that it's completely bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure that over the summer that they're going to be coming out with everything that we need in order to create the best comic books that we can, and that's important for me. That's going to be important for a lot of people who are messing with this program. So I hope that you guys are able to take something away from this video. If you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the comments. Again, my name is DJ Wagamuffin, and I hope to see you guys around soon. Thanks.